What's up guys, Sal here. So there was a time when Nokia ruled, Samsung struggled, and Apple was nowhere in the smartphone market. Now the roles are reversed. To give you some perspective how big Nokia was, in 2007 when Apple launched their first iPhone, over half of the smartphones sold were of Nokias. They had over 50% of the smartphone market share. It still amazes me when I think about how a company as big as Nokia with such high market share collapsed in just a matter of years. There are many reasons why Nokia failed, and I would say biggest reasons of them all are appointing Stephen Elop as the CEO and exclusively going with Windows Phone in 2011. Stephen Elop said at that time that they didn't choose Android because they feared that one company would come to dominate Android. That company, of course, is Samsung. He didn't mention Samsung's name, but everyone knew it was them because of the resources they had. So they decided to go full on with Windows Phone in the hope to create the third alternative to Android and iOS. The partnership between Nokia and Microsoft could have worked wonders, but even from the very beginning, it became obvious that Microsoft was gonna kill the goose laying the golden eggs. Microsoft never seemed to have any intention of partnering with Nokia on equal terms. It viewed Nokia the same way Apple views Foxconn, a sweet shop that will churn out millions of phones, all units running Windows. One could make the argument that it killed Nokia with arrogance and disrespect. However, that would be only a small part of the story. Microsoft offered a partnership to Nokia, but insisted on the replacement of the CEO with one of its own, Stephen Elop. Today, Elop is a four-letter word in Finland, and not for good reasons. Instead of working for the company he was now the head of, Elop made sure to undermine every effort that could turn Nokia profitable again and paved the way for Microsoft to totally buy out and absorb Nokia quickly and cheaply as possible. Nokia had almost 40% of the smartphone market share when Elop was appointed as the CEO. He took it, turned its direction, and burned it right to the ground. He was indeed a Trojan horse on a mission to debase Nokia's value, for Microsoft to buy them out cheaply, and he totally succeeded in that. Anyway, what would have happened if Nokia didn't do the dumbest mistake of their life and instead went with Android in the first place? I'm sure the landscape would have been totally different. I'm certain Samsung would have been still at the top because they had a lot of resources and marketing budget, and even Nokia's CEO back in the days acknowledged that. Nokia would have been in the top 3 for sure. Nokia made amazing phones back in the days, even in their Lumia phase. Their cameras were great, the hardware in general was great, the only thing that sucked was software. Windows Phone was cool, but it lacked apps and some basic features that you could find on Android and iOS. By the way, Nokia is back in the form of HMD now, but it's not the same Nokia anymore. Yes, people who run HMD are former Nokia executives, but HMD doesn't have the resources and marketing budget that the old Nokia had, and you can see that reflect on the current Nokia smartphones. That being said, let me know what you think would have happened if Nokia chose Android in the first place. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.